Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Many areas along the Suncoast were at or below freezing this morning. Let's get the latest now from meteorologist John Scalzi. We're getting a little warmer, but
yes, thankfully, yes.
Yeah.
Still on the cool side, though. We'll be 20 degrees below average today,
wow,
or thereabouts. Yeah, it was really cold this morning. I mean, I have weather watches, which I really love. They call in faithfully every morning and report their findings. And Mark in Palmetto had 28 degrees. Cooper in central Sarasota was freezing. Richard was freezing in Northport at 30. And Becky in Old-Myac, traditionally a colder spot, came in with 24 degrees, which I thought, that sounds really a little cold. I checked some of the agricultural spots in Ona and in Arcadia, and they were at 25 degrees. Wow. So that's legit. And it was at those temperatures below freezing in those locations for 5 hours, 6 hours since about 3 o'clock in the morning, and they really just came out of them at about 9. So, yes, sir. It was cold. Won't be that cold tonight, though. It'll be another cold night, though, and it is a first alert weather day because of the chilly temperatures out there. 40 degrees, Longboat Key, looking at temperatures of 43 and Lakewood Ranch, 43, and Wauchula, Arcadia at 44, 44 in Venice. You get the picture, pretty average, 44, mid-40s for the temperature. We'll get to about 54 degrees today by about 3 o'clock. And there'll be plenty of sunshine around, and the winds will start to die down a little bit, but it'll still be breezy throughout the afternoon. By 7 o'clock tonight, you'll notice some fast cooling taking place because the air is still very dry across the region, and tonight about midnight will be pretty close to the 39-degree mark or maybe a degree above. It will be a cold night. I think we're going to escape the freezing temperatures for the most part, but we have some clear sky out there. Now, notice that cloud cover out in the Atlantic. That could be headed our way a little bit tomorrow, and that will be one of the reasons that we might not be as cold tonight. Plus, we're going to get a little bit of a wind shift. We'll talk all about the forecast coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. The freezing temperatures impacting many people here on the Suncoast, including farmers and their valuable crops. ABC 7's Marla Spence is at a Manatee County farm where workers have been working to save their crops. Marla?
That's right, Scott. The sprinklers right behind me at O'Brien Family Farms here in Bradenton have been running since about 3 o'clock this morning, and they say it's all to help save these crops. Now, staff here run the sprinklers during freezing temperatures to freeze over the crops in order to protect them. In this case, they're trying to save 125 acres filled with strawberries. The farm's owner, Tom O'Brien, says the farm dished out some cash during freezing temperatures in order to save their crop.
You're going to lose some of your yields. I mean, you're going to lose some of the fruit, some of the bloom. You're definitely going to lose some of that. So that, less berries to pick for a little bit of time. Fuel for running pumps. People in trucks all night long. Salaries, payroll, everything goes up. So it's all part of the farm, basically. We're trying to make a profit.
O'Brien says usually the sprinklers would be off by now, but the temperatures are still low enough where the strawberries need to be frozen over. He also says that the strawberries, they freeze over at 32 degrees and the plant is good as low as 28 degrees. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Bradenton for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Marla, thank you so much. For those who don't have a place to go during the cold weather, the Salvation Army is opening its doors to provide meals and a warm place to sleep. Salvation Army on 10th Street in Sarasota serves dinner every night around 5:30. They begin intakes around 6, continue taking people until 9. Breakfast is served in the morning then, and they open up their porch afterwards so people don't have to leave. Salvation Army officials say everyone who stays is very grateful.
They're very grateful when they have the opportunity to come in. The beauty for us is that individuals who wouldn't normally come in will come in on a cold weather night, and it gives us the opportunity to connect with them and give them the opportunity to find housing.
The Salvation Army in Sarasota will stay open until the weather warms up again. Also open again tonight, Grace United Methodist Church in Venice and New Hope Community Church in Northport. In Manatee County, Salvation Army Shelter on 14th Street West in Bradenton will be open as well. New funding for the latest effort to address the area's homeless problem. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reporting several donors have already committed more than $1 million to the Suncoast Partnership to End Homelessness. The group is working on a new housing program that will support repeat offenders who are frequently in the hospital and in jail. The partnership's goal is to house 300 individuals this year. The private funding already covers about half of them. Today, the House is expected to vote on a GOP bill to fund the government for another month. But the measure has major opposition from Democrats and even some Republicans. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
The shutdown showdown continues in Washington. This morning, President Trump asked at the Pentagon about the possibility.
Could happen. We'll see what happens. It's up to the Democrats.
On Capitol Hill,
Democrats have been negotiating in good faith.
the main sticking points, a fix for the Dreamers and President Trump's southern border wall.
Build the wall. Build the wall.
Trump rode that campaign promise into the White House, but his chief of staff, John Kelly, told the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and later Fox News that those promises were uninformed.
There's been an evolutionary process that this president has gone through as a campaign.
This morning, Trump jumped on Twitter to make it clear. The wall is the wall. It has never changed or evolved from the first day I conceived of it. Another tweet, the wall will be paid for directly or indirectly or through longer-term reimbursement by Mexico.
We address all the issues that the president raised when we had our meeting in the White House Tuesday last week. This is a starting point.
Last night, a bipartisan group of senators introduced a bill that will give some funding to Trump's wall and address the fate of the Dreamers.
I don't want to put these kids through any more hell. I don't want to wait to March 4th.
But conservative House Republicans are moving forward with a one-month spending bill that does not include the Dreamers. A big no for the Democrats. Trump is backing that short-term measure, which could be voted on today. Even if House Republicans get it passed, it doesn't appear they have the votes in the Senate. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
So what does a government shutdown entail? More importantly, what will it mean for you as a taxpayer here on the Suncoast? Our Stephanie Webb is here with more on that. Stephanie?
Well, we've been talking about it all week, so we asked the question, what exactly happens? Now, it all comes down to what's most essential in the federal government. Now, you would still receive mail, airport travel, and the TSA, of course, are obviously considered essential, so there wouldn't be anything changed there. But there are a few closings that will affect us.
Essential things like the Army, air traffic control, hospitals, the post office, mailing of Social Security and Medicare checks will continue. But national parks will close, museums will close, and more important, if you're applying for something from the government, that will close. So, for example, later this year, I will be applying for Medicare. If, God forbid, there's still a government shutdown in April, I just have to wait until that shutdown ends before I can apply.
Now, as of 2016, the state of Florida had approximately 137,000 federal employees. Now, all non-essential employees would be furloughed for as long as the shutdown is in effect. The House is expected to vote on a short-term spending bill sometime after 2:30 today. We'll have the latest updates throughout the day.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. Well, this didn't take long. The Hollywood Reporter says Michael Wolff's best-selling book, Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, will be adapted into a TV series. The company Endeavor Content bought the film and TV rights in a multi-million-dollar deal. Now the search is on for a network to officially sign on to the project. Fire and Fury has been controversial since its release, painting a chaotic and unflattering picture of President Trump's first year in office. Still to come in your Suncoast News, experts say the cause of the flu epidemic is all of the holiday travelers. We'll show you what you can do to stay healthy in some of the most unhealthy places. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are on the royal tour. We'll have the latest from their first official visit to Wales as a couple.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. It was a cold start today, lower 30s on the Suncoast.
Tomorrow we'll tell you how to dress for work, for school, or wherever you're heading, but how long will it stay cold? Here's John.
We're taking a look at a temperature trend which suggests a warm-up. We'll let you know just how warm that will be and when we'll see normal temperatures again.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability, or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed, it was a cold start to the morning. The weather headlines today, well, first of all, we have another first alert day because of the cool temperatures that are around. Daytime high temperatures will only be about 20 degrees below average. That's all. So it's going to be a chilly day today. Winds, however, will be subsiding a little bit during the later afternoon. It'll be cold tonight as well, although we don't have any freeze watches up for our area. We do just to the north of us in Hillsborough County. And of course, Mother Nature doesn't understand borders, so we could still see some spots of freezing temperatures, especially in inland areas, but we just won't get the long duration, widespread freezing temperatures that we saw this morning. It'll be a mild weekend, however, with a moderating temperatures then. Another front comes through next week. We'll be discussing that in a few. Current conditions outside, we got 47 degrees. We have a dew point of 17 and plenty of sunshine, but it's not helping much because that northeast wind continues to draw down that cooler air. By 3, as I mentioned, we get to about 53 degrees, but then as the sun begins to set, the temperatures begin to fall rather rapidly. By 7, we'll be at 46. By midnight at 40. And then tomorrow morning, we'll be back into the 30s, just not quite as low as we were this morning. Could see some freezing temperatures, though, especially in Hardee and DeSoto counties and inland areas, maybe a couple of hours of freezing temperatures, certainly not out of the question completely. Overnight lows, well, here's what I'm forecasting for our area. 36 degrees in Rotunda, Placida at 38, Northport at 34, Inglewood 36, Venice 36, Osprey 36. 33 in Mayaca, pretty close to freezing there. I'm sure there'll be pockets of near freezing temperatures. 34 degrees, Lakewood Ranch. Sarasota 36, Bradenton 34, Longboat Key 38, and so Santa Maria. Of course, these temperatures were subject to a little bit of tweaking as we head into the second half of the day. New model runs come out, and more information is gathered. So be sure and turn in at 5 tonight with Bob. He'll give you some updated information on these temperatures. I can tell you the trend for overnight lows is on the rise, though, and as we head into the weekend, we'll go from 30s up to 50s to near 60s as we head into the beginning of next work week. This little dip right here, that's the next cold front. Not a very strong one, not a very potent one, but it will knock down our temperatures a few degrees and bring us somewhat unsettled weather. For today, high pressure kind of settles in over the state of Florida. The winds that we had brisk out of the north and brought us those wind chills this morning subside a little bit as that high kind of moves right over the state. Eventually, those winds will twist over the next 24 hours to a more northeasterly direction, and that will draw in a little bit more moisture, help to keep the nighttime temperatures up, draw in a little bit of cloud cover, also help with the nighttime temperatures, and allow the sun to do its work and modify the air mass over us and start to heat our temperatures back up to a nice upper 60s, low 70s as we go through the weekend. First alert weather day today because of the cold, but it's still going to be a sunny day, and as soon as those winds die down, for a lot of people, it'll be nice with temperatures in the mid-50s or maybe 60s tomorrow. Still, a lot of people will feel that that's not fair, as our normal temperature will be about 72, so we'll be getting there over the weekend, though. Cold tonight, but no freeze. The Futurecast shows clear skies for us this afternoon as we go into 7 o'clock, clear skies. Tomorrow morning as we head into Friday, pretty nice conditions. But as watch in the afternoon on Friday, some cloud cover will be moving through as our winds shift to the east, and that brings us that warming trend. Forecast looks like this. North wind at about 15. Small craft advisory is down for our area, but it's still going to be a moderate chop out there. No picnic out on open waters. Cold conditions today with a high of 55 tonight. Cool, but not as cold tomorrow. We get up to about 63. As we head through the weekend, we warm nicely into the 70s. Monday, the front comes through late in the night and brings us some unsettled weather. Scott?
All right, John, thanks so much. The CDC says the flu outbreak was fueled by so many people traveling over the holidays. According to a recent study, an airplane tray table has 12 times more bacteria per inch than your toilet seat at home. Airlines usually clean hard surfaces every night, but not always between each flight.
I don't have time to wipe every single tray station. So intrinsically, the bathroom is cleaner than out here.
Some tips to avoid infection at the airport: just let the other people board first and give yourself a moment. Boarding first increases your risk of being pushed up against someone who's putting their bags away. The window seat has less traffic by it, so no one can sneeze on you or grab your headrest with a grubby hand. Doctors recommend you drink less coffee while you fly. Both coffee and alcohol are shown to increase your dehydration and then decrease your immune system. Sore throats are not only irritating, but can be a sign of a more severe health issue. They're usually triggered by a common cold or the flu, but the cold, dry air can also be a factor. Experts say gargling with salt water can be an effective way to ease a sore throat, as salt dries moisture and can prevent bacteria from growing. Soothe your irritated throat by staying hydrated. Hot liquids such as tea and broth are good choices because the warmth soothes the pain. And adding honey to your tea or other warm drinks may also help. And keep the throat moist by sucking on a piece of hard candy or a medicated lozenge that can have a numbing effect. Well, even the Catholic Church is putting out guidelines for churchgoers due to the aggressive flu epidemic. The Archdiocese telling parishioners not to, they don't have to shake hands during peace, drink the wine, or hold hands during Our Father. The Catholic Church is strongly urging those attending Mass to take these precautions, and so far many parishioners are in complete agreement. All right, let's head over to the kitchen now and say hello to our good friend Jamil Pineda from Michael's on East. Jamil, thanks so much for coming in on this cold day. What are you going to fix for us?
Well, fortunately, we're going to actually be making a beautiful salad. We're going to do a ahi tuna, rub in coffee, spices, a salad with ginger, scallion, and vinaigrette, so stay tuned.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8-time Tony Award winner Once, held over by popular demand. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once must close January 19th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting FloridaStudioTheater.org.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins.
To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Start the year off with big savings during the Start Something New event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Why settle for less when you can shop the Suncoast's largest selection? Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $24,999. Or drive away in a beautiful new Chrysler 300 for as little as $21,999. That's right, save over $9,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert weather app now.
Prince Harry is taking his fiancée to Wales today, introducing her to some of the citizens in her new country. Meghan Markle and Harry are getting a rock star reception wherever they go. ABC's Julia McFarlane has the story.
4 months and 1 day until Meghan Markle marries her prince. It's a cold day here in the Welsh capital of Cardiff, but a delighted crowd of hundreds of well-wishers and schoolchildren have braved the freeze to catch a glimpse of the happy couple. Harry and Meghan are carrying out their second official engagement of 2018, starting with a visit to the ancient Roman castle with a history dating back 2,000 years. Between now and May 18th, when the couple will wed at the Queen's home of Windsor Castle, there's a lot to be done. Meghan will have to be baptised into the Church of England. She'll also have to take a citizenship test to become a British national before marrying into the family. Prince Harry will undoubtedly take her on a tour of the UK, visiting the different parts of the kingdom, just like Prince William did with Kate before they married 7 years ago. With each passing engagement, Meghan, a natural with the crowds, will settle into her role as the excitement for their wedding continues to grow. With this visit to this very ancient part of the UK, Meghan is learning more about the history and the culture of the country and the nation she's preparing to join. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, Cardiff.
We are in the kitchen with Chef Jamil from Michael's on East. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Always cook up something nice. This is from your City Lights menu.
City Light menu, which is me.
I love, and I know my wife loves as well. This is where you can eat and be decadent with your meals, but not worry too much about the calories.
Little calories or fat, grams and stuff. And then right here we got a beautiful tuna, and ahi tuna is one of the nicest things. You see how gorgeous it is. And the reason we cut it like this is because we're going to cut some logs out of it. Right. And one of the biggest part when you're doing a tuna that you're going to want it rare, you want to have your pan sizzling hot. Because what you want to do is just cook the herbs and not too much oil. Because remember, you're searing. You're not...
no deep frying going on.
No deep frying right here going on. So it's a little bit of oil. And if you use a non-stick pan, it's even better because that means the tuna will not stick. So, and then in the spices that we have here, we got espresso coffee, we have Cajun spices, we got a bit of sugar, some garlic, a lot of cool stuff is in that in this concoction right here.
That is a great taste too. I had a little bite. It sampled a little bit earlier on, and I'll tell you what, it makes a nice crust.
So what you want to do is just basically make a little crust right here.
Beautiful.
You see it nice, and you don't want to burn it because you know the coffee can burn very quick, and that's why you use a little bit of very hot thing. Right here we got some roasted yellow beets. This, you know, we're going to be working as we're doing this right here. We're going to make a nice, beautiful salad. Oops. Let's put that back over there. So what you want to do is make a nice little round because you're going to make your salad in here. And now that these are done, you see, you want to keep it nice and rare. All you want to do basically is sear that and give a little bit of the raw stuff right here so you can actually taste some of the sugar and stuff, which is kind of cool. Let's take this out of the way right here. Here. Let's put it right there. And then right here we're going to work on the salad. And it's very simple. And then we have some beautiful oak lettuce right here. Some organic green lettuce with some oak, some frise,
which gives it a little bit of a bite.
A little bite and crispiness. And you can see, you can actually hear how crispy this is.
Oh, it sounds great.
See?
Man.
So we got some edamame right here. So don't be afraid.
Very healthy.
Very healthy. You got some heirloom cherry tomatoes, which you can see beautiful. It almost looks like a watermelon, some of them. I'm going to add that to that. We're going to turn this off.
Somebody told me that edamame is the highest source of vegetable protein that there is.
Exactly. And it is actually a soy thing, so there is not gluten-free. So a lot of people, you know, when they have soy, they got to be careful that you don't use gluten-free soy, which is almost like a mushroom soy, basically. So right here you got a beautiful roasted beets. Right here we have a nice, beautiful dressing, which is contains, actually, if you don't believe it, is water, sugar, and rice vinegar.
Oh,
so there's no oil, there's nothing. The only oil you're going to use is going to be when you do your emulsion for the ginger scallion, and some just to cook, and you can see we didn't really use that much. And then when you toss this, you want to toss it nice and gentle. So you don't want those lettuce not, to, once it has the dressing, you don't want it to be so wet. And then you just place it on the top right here, and then use some of your ingredients. Put it right on top, let them fall, so it can look beautiful. Make sure there's nothing get it all around it right here because you want to put your tuna.
That looks absolutely awesome.
It's very nice, it's very simple. Once all the ingredients are in, then it's easier to do. Now we're going to go right here and cut this tuna. So I want to show you the difference right here.
That tuna is just so gorgeous.
You want to place it all around.
Now, in the 30 seconds left, we're going to show a final plate with it put all the way around. But then you're adding a little bit of a sauce on there?
So we got, kind of like in between this, you did a little bit of ginger oil. So it's almost like a sashimi, but you know what I mean? Not necessarily. And all the ingredients that you have right here are so good.
Absolutely gorgeous. And the finished product is absolutely beautiful. I would be very happy to have that for lunch. That looks absolutely great. The recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Do we have a final product? Absolutely beautiful, beautiful meal from Michael's on East. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, look at the
really
tuna, how
is.
beautiful it is.
Absolutely beautiful. Chef, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. We'll be right back.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been arrested in the state of Florida, the state attorney's office is already working on your prosecution. It's time to work on your defense. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We again begin with the weather because it was pretty darn cold this morning here on the Suncoast.
Absolutely.
Below freezing.
Yeah, below freezing, well below freezing
Yeah.
by a number of degrees. In some places as low as the mid-20s. So yeah, it was very chilly indeed. Even at the Ruskin station, they had 27 degrees, which is a little bit closer to the interstate. But yeah, many places seeing freezing temperatures this morning. Even at the airport, freezing temperatures were recorded. One thing, though, the air is very dry aloft, and that allows for an absolutely gorgeous, pristine sky. It is a first alert weather day, and it will be cold. That's why we're calling it a first alert weather day, because of the well below average temperatures and the chilly weather expected again tonight, though not freezing. But I'll tell you, if you are a stargazer, tomorrow morning around dawn, Jupiter and Mars will be out just before dawn breaks, and it should be an exquisite sky. 54 degrees, plenty of sunshine out there, but not much in the way of warmth as we head into the 7 o'clock hour, 46 degrees. And then as we progress into the nighttime, looking for temperatures that again fall into the 30s, but at least it'll be a little bit warmer than last night. Freeze not really expected. Got the latest forecast details on this morning's weather as well, how cold it got and where it got that cold on our website, mysuncoast.com, and I'll be updating tonight's forecast on the First Alert Weather app in just a few. We'll have that forecast for you in a second. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. The Suncoast certainly feeling the effects of this cold snap. Residents and visitors alike bundling up to deal with the low temperatures. Some downtown Sarasota restaurants placing heaters for their diners sitting outside last night. The winter weather forcing cancellations and delays of at least a dozen flights at SRQ yesterday. Just one flight so far today. Visitors putting the cold snap into perspective.
It's not like anything that you typically experience. It's really cold, but it's colder back home. It's about 18 degrees, my wife said, so it's actually a little bit warmer here.
Sarasota County fire officials say they receive more calls on days like this, mainly because of space heaters, so they're urging people to be extra careful while trying to stay warm. And you think it's cold here? Well, even the thermometers can't keep up with the freezing temperatures in Siberia. Even your eyelashes freeze there. It hit minus 67 degrees in some areas this week. Not surprising, as it's known as the coldest inhabited region on Earth. Residents often have to leave their cars running all day so they don't freeze, and they live off a diet primarily of meat due to the fact that produce just can't survive the freezing temperatures there. The number of flu cases continue to spike from coast to coast. ABC's Maggie Rulli shows us what the CDC is saying is the culprit that's affecting thousands.
When I came into his room, he was kind of on the floor. His eyes were open and he was looking at me. The only way I can describe the way he looked is he looked like a fish out of water, a fish trying to breathe.
The community setting up a GoFundMe page for her son, 12-year-old Michael Messenger, believed to be one of the latest victims of this year's flu epidemic. It's hitting every corner of the U.S. and sparing no one. 40-year-old fitness enthusiast Katie Thomas was ice skating with her 3 children. Days later, she died from the flu.
It just happened so quickly. We were just in shock. It's been devastating.
Hospitals are overwhelmed and overflowing.
It really spiked just after the Christmas holiday, and we saw record volumes just right after that.
The CDC says holiday travel ignited the flu epidemic, with passengers touching their armrest, shade, and air nozzle every flight. And those germs can last on hard surfaces up to 24 hours. That tray table, a new study found it has 12 times more bacteria, harmful or not, per inch than your toilet seat at home.
They don't have time to wipe every single tray station. So intrinsically, the bathroom is cleaner than out here.
To stay healthy in the air, experts say pick a window seat, use nasal spray, turn on the air nozzle overhead, and do not be afraid to wipe down absolutely everything in your seat. And for everyone else, a reminder that it's still not too late to go get that flu shot. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
And the flu is hitting parts of the country very hard, as you just saw, forcing some school districts in Texas to call in sick. But that's not the case here on the Suncoast, thankfully. Manatee County school officials say the epidemic hasn't had a big impact so far. They say they're teaching younger kids to wash their hands frequently, and the older kids are encouraged not to share food and to stay home if they're too sick.
So far, we've been very fortunate in that we haven't seen significant absences since we've been back from the winter break due to the flu.
Parents are encouraged to make sure their kids are properly bundled and layered up. School officials are also monitoring heating systems in schools. Some lawmakers are pushing to strip the USF Sarasota Manatee campus of its independent status. The Tampa Bay Times reporting the Florida House advanced legislation this week that would take away the school's independent accreditation. That would potentially cut funding for the school. Since it became independent from the USF campus in Tampa about 7 years ago, USF Sarasota Manatee has been able to add classes, enroll more students, and has started plans to offer student housing on campus eventually. The legislation would also impact USF's campus in St. Petersburg. New details now regarding the murder case of an Ivy League student from the University of Pennsylvania. According to a now sealed affidavit, the accused suspect told investigators his former high school classmate had kissed him and the kiss was unwanted. Blaze Bernstein went missing earlier this month while home on break from Penn. His body was found a week later at the park where he was last seen. Investigators say Samuel Woodward stabbed him more than 20 times and then buried his body in a shallow grave.
Woodward is still accused of visiting the crime scene days after the murder. He's also accused of cleaning up the car that he used the night that he picked up Blaze.
Prosecutors say during their initial interview with Woodward, he lied about scratches on his hands and dirt under fingernails. They also claim he tried to hide evidence. Students at the University of Alabama are protesting against racism, fueled by a racist video posted by a now former student. They say what was said in the video is unacceptable behavior, and they're standing up for what's right by marching against it.
To be honest, this is not the first time this has happened. Really, something like this dramatically happens every year.
The woman who made that video has apologized. She also told the New York Post that she's returning home to New Jersey. A fourth person has died in Florida after being struck by a new high-speed train. The train struck a bicycle rider yesterday. Just days earlier, as the new Brightline train was offering preview runs before its debut, it struck and killed a woman who was crossing the tracks. Witnesses told police the woman tried to make it across after the guardrails were down. The Brightline train began its service Saturday, running between Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. It will eventually expand to take passengers from Miami to Orlando. A woman was struck in July in Boca Raton in an apparent suicide, and another woman was hit and killed in Deerfield Beach. Another North Korean ghost ship has washed ashore in Japan, this time with 7 dead bodies on board. It actually appeared last week, but because of rough weather, police were not able to investigate the boat until Monday. Sanctions placed against North Korea are being credited for the fishermen's deaths.
But what they learned is they're being sent out in the wintertime to fish because there's food shortages. And they're being sent out to fish with inadequate fuel to get back. So we're getting a lot of evidence that these sanctions are really starting to hurt.
The Japanese say they've had more than 100 North Korean fishing boats that have drifted into Japanese waters, and 2/3 of the people on the boats have died. But when they are found alive, they say they're not trying to escape. They want to be sent back home. 2 swimmers are alive thanks to a drone that dropped a life raft that saved them from a rip current. The 16 and 17-year-old boys were spotted by beachgoers. So a lifesaver drone was quickly launched and directed to the boys' location, where it deployed a life raft that they then used to get back to shore safely. Government officials called the incident a world first, adding that it was also significantly quicker to get to that location using a drone. The Department of Homeland Security will be blocking Haitians from temporary visas. In its statement, DHS says there were high levels of fraud and abuse by Haitians who had these visas. The decision comes shortly after the White House ended temporary protected status for tens of thousands of Haitians who had been working in the U.S. legally since the country suffered a devastating earthquake back in 2010. Nearly 60,000 Haitians face deportation now if they don't leave by July of 2019.
There doesn't seem to be any direction given to the White House, and that's what's actually causing a lot of the chaos here among not just the Congress, but basically among all of the GOP right now.
Along with Haiti and Belize and Samoa are also being excluded from temporary visa eligibility. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies will be partnering with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are among 17 law enforcement agencies in the state that are working with ICE to capture illegal immigrants. The agreement with ICE allows deputies to hold undocumented immigrants for up to 48 hours and gives more time to ICE agents to pick them up from jail. The American Civil Liberties Union says the new protocol is still legally problematic and could lead to civil rights violations. Well, after 88 years near Sarasota's Bayfront, the Players Theater is now another step closer to relocating to Lakewood Ranch. The organization has sold its property on US 41 across from the Van Wezel. The CEO would not reveal the buyer or the sales price, but says they got more than the asking price of $12 million. Faced with major repairs and a lack of parking, the Players decided to leave Sarasota and move east of the interstate. Players CEO Michelle Bianchi says board members felt they could do better in a community that doesn't have as many entertainment options.
As a community theater, we have to go where we're needed, and quite frankly, we're not needed right downtown in the heart of Sarasota at the moment. So community theater is needed in Lakewood Ranch.
This is an artist rendering of the $30 million Lakewood Ranch facility the Players will be moving into sometime in 2019. Performances will continue at the current location until the summer of 2019. Some preschoolers were treated to a salon day earlier this week at Suncoast Technical College. Cosmetology students at the Cutting Edge Salon on the college campus were able to practice their skills on younger people, and the kids got treated to a spa day, some for the very first time.
Starting a conversation, keeping the conversation going, and entertaining the child as they're getting their service done.
Organizers of the program say it was beneficial for everyone. The students from the technical college got to enhance their customer service skills, and those preschool students got to experience a haircut by maybe someone other than mom and dad. Disney's Animal Kingdom has a new adorable addition to the family. They welcomed a baby Nile hippo, the first to be born at the park in 13 years. The calf has been staying very close to mom, named Tuma, while they bond, so the sex and weight of the baby is not yet known. The Nile hippo is a vulnerable species, making this birth all the more exciting. Guests can expect to see Tuma and her calf on the Kilimanjaro Safari and the Wild Africa Trek. Still to come on your Suncoast News, weddings cost how much? When we come back, we're going to show you the top wedding trends that will burn a hole in your pocketbook.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our Wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability. Or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So there are still some watches and warnings out to our north. There is a freeze watch from Hillsborough northward, but it does not include our area here locally. Nevertheless, like I say, Mother Nature doesn't know much about boundaries, so, you know, just because you live in, say, Hidden River, doesn't mean that you couldn't see some freezing temperatures for a brief period of time overnight tonight, because it will be cold, no doubt about it. But mostly the best likelihood and the highest confidence in any kind of a freeze lasting several hours will be to the north of us. So I would suggest if you have your plants covered, go ahead and leave them covered one more day. Won't hurt. And especially if you live in inland areas, even though we don't have a freeze watch up. It will be warmer, starting as early as tomorrow, really. It's going to be warmer. It will be back to near average warmth, which is nice, in the low 70s as we head into the weekend. And then we have another front headed our way as we head into next week. Currently, we're at 47 degrees with a dew point value at 17. That is bone dry air. What we need to do is moisten that up a little bit, and we will start to do that as our winds shift more from a northerly direction to this northeasterly direction, and eventually even, I think, an east-northeast direction. That will allow for some humidity from the Atlantic to work its way across the state into our area. That'll help keep our nighttime temperature up just a little bit as well tonight, as we see a daytime high that only makes it to about 54, and as the sun sets, the air still dry will cool pretty quickly, but overnight temperatures will probably be 3, 4, maybe 5 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. So that's good news. If you did not freeze this morning, you're certainly not going to freeze tomorrow morning. And if you were just at the freezing mark this morning, you probably are not going to be at the freezing point tomorrow morning either. So we are looking at winds that are generally forecast for the remainder of the day to be coming out of the northeast. But watch what they do by tomorrow morning. They kind of switch around more to this easterly direction, and that's going to be helpful in returning the moisture. Also, the winds are going to die down just a little bit as well, and that will help us in terms of the wind chill factors. Here are my forecast lows, and by the way, I've put this, if you need a second look at it, put it on our website, mysuncoast.com, and it's also on our First Alert weather app as well. 34 degrees in Northport, 37 in Port Charlotte, Inglewood at 36, Venice at 36, 33, Myakka 34, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton at 34, the warm spot on the islands at 38. Forecast calls for this big ridge of high pressure to kind of settle in over the state of Florida, reducing our winds, redirecting them more out of the northeast, and certainly giving us a less of a wind chill factor as we head into the next 24 hours. In fact, we don't even have a wind chill advisory up for our area. First Alert weather day, cold but sunny, and cold again tonight. North wind comes in at about 15, and you'll have 3 to 5 foot seas and a moderate chop. The forecast calls for today a temperature near 55 and cold. As we head into tomorrow, cool, 63. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll warm up, and then we'll see temperatures near the 72 or 3 degree mark next week. Scott?
John, thank you so much. First Amazon, and now Apple is looking to build a new headquarters in the United States. The company plans to add 20,000 jobs and $38 billion in taxes that was previously going overseas. New tax rules mean companies like Apple can no longer avoid paying taxes by holding the cash outside of the country. Companies must pay taxes whether they bring the money back to the country or not. Apple plans to decide where they'll build later this year. YouTube is cracking down on the dangerous new online trend that has teens eating poisonous laundry pods and posting the videos. A Google-owned video streaming service said it will remove those videos, saying YouTube's guidelines prohibit content that encourages dangerous activities and have a risk of causing physical harm. When planning a wedding, you have to think about the venue, the flowers, and of course the dress. But you also have to consider a budget. Mary Maloney shows us the wedding trends that are adding up.
Planning a wedding is going to cost you. According to the wedding website, The Knot, the average price of a wedding last year was more than $35,000. But as the cost of weddings goes up, the guest list is going down. Instead, The Knot says couples are opting to spend money on one-of-a-kind experiences, like an unexpected band, an Insta-worthy venue, or foodie-caliber eats. Most couples still opt for the traditional registry, but many also want the universal gift,
money, especially as people wait until they're older and more established in their careers to get married. The wedding trends fit into the typical millennial gift-giving mindset, experiences rather than something you could buy in a store. So when you get that save the date, expect the unexpected. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Nintendo is going old school and maybe old-fashioned too. The Japanese-based business has a new line of low-tech accessories for its Switch and Joy-Con controllers. The items are made of cardboard. One of them is a cardboard piano that can hold a console and controllers, and when the keys are played, musical notes can be heard from the console. There's also another kit where users can create an interactive robot suit, complete with straps for a kid's hands and feet. These cardboard products, called Toy-Cons, will be available in April. Another popular burger chain is coming to the Suncoast. Shake Shack plans to open a restaurant near the mall at UTC on University. It would be near the California Pizza Kitchen that's already there. This would be the first Shake Shack location on Florida's West Coast. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Mila Kunis will be in Cambridge later this month, paraded through the streets and roasted in front of college students at Harvard. Why this is an honor for the actress when we come back.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Fact: the top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail: Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new Subaru Impreza for just $185 a month, or get 0% financing and 0 down with complimentary maintenance included. That's right, not 1 penny down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
You have to be at least 50 years old to remember the events dramatized in the movie The Post. And stars Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks are both in their 60s, so it makes sense that the movie leads the nominations for the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards. although Hanks and Streep are both nominated. Not so for the picture. Those nominees: Get Out, Lady Bird, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, The Shape of Water, and John's favorite, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Good stuff.
Winners will be announced February 5th. Angelina Jolie has proven herself as a director, and now she'll receive a top honor from the American Society of Cinematographers. At next month's ASC Awards, they'll give Jolie their Board of Governors Award, which goes to a filmmaker who's made significant contributions to cinema and has been a champion for directors of photography and the visual art form. Actress Mila Kunis is this year's Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year. Harvard University's Hasty Pudding Theatricals, the oldest collegiate theatrical organization in the U.S., made that announcement this week. Kunis will receive the traditional pudding pot on January 25th after being paraded around Cambridge and serving as the subject of a celebratory roast. The group said Kunis was chosen for its oldest award because she has, quote, established herself as one of Hollywood's most sought-after, vivacious, and engaging actresses. And it's Winnie the Pooh Day. Today marks 136 years since the original author, A.A. Milne, was born. Books about the honey-loving bear have been around for nearly 92 years now. The first book was published in 1926. Disney bought the rights in the 1960s and has since created several adaptations of Winnie the Pooh.
Was she getting a star at Disney World? Is that what they did there?
For Winnie the Pooh?
Guess the Winnie the Pooh books, I guess?
I don't think so. No, we're just celebrating. It's Winnie the Pooh Day.
It's worth celebrating.
Yeah. Have a great day. Stay warm.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.